Question 20. Jo delivered catalogues as a job during her summer holidays. She was paid a rate of $20 per 1,000 catalogues. On an average day, she delivered 4 catalogues to each residence along 45 city blocks. Each block had on average 40 residences to receive catalogues. What would she have been paid for a week where she worked on 3 days? So she's worked 3 days and she's paid a rate of $20 per 1,000 catalogues. So we've got to work out how many thousands of catalogues did she actually deliver. On an average day, she delivers 4 catalogues to each residence along a 45 city blocks, and each block has on average 40 residences. So 4 times 40 tells us how many residents per block. So 4 times 40 tells me how many residents per block, so 160. And she's got 45 city blocks to do. So 160 times 45 gives 7,200 catalogues in total. But she gets $20 per 1,000 catalogues. So the question was, how many catalogues does she deliver in total? Well, how many thousands of catalogues does she do? Well, 7,200 is the same as 7.2 times 1,000. So we can use our 7.2 to tell us how much per day, how many thousands of catalogues per day that Jo delivers. So she's working 3 days with 7.2 thousand catalogues per day at a rate of $20. And we would do that on our calculators as 3 times 7.2 times 20. Whoops. I'll clear off that last one, sorry. 3 times 7.2 times 20, which is 432. Now, some students wrote 3 times 7,200 times 20 and wrote this as their answer, 432,000. So it goes back to asking, is it reasonable? And this is definitely not a reasonable answer for 3 days worth of work. So if that's the situation, reread the question and just double check all of the parts. So this is per 1,000 kilometers, per 1,000 catalogues. It took her on average 12 minutes to cover each block. What hourly rate of pay would be equivalent to her piecework pay rate? So she's doing 45 city blocks and it takes her 12 minutes to cover each of those blocks. So time it takes for her to do that would be, so time to do that would be 12 minutes times 45 city blocks, which equals 540. But 540 minutes, and we want that in, here we go. Divide that by 60. Divide 60 to give us the fact that this is 9 hours of work. Right, so it's taking her 9 hours to do each block, right? And she gets paid 432, but that's not to do one block. That's, that is to do 3 days worth of work, right? So we need to actually compensate for the fact that it's 3 days. So this is the time it takes for her to do one block, right? 45 city blocks for one day, right? So actually it's 3 days worth of work that we're doing. So to work out her rate of pay as an hourly, so hourly rate, we need to take her total pay of 432 and we need to divide it by the amount of time she took. So in our case, it's 9 times 3. And so that's 27. So 432 divided by 27 gives us $16 per hour. Again, some of you wrote and got so close to getting this right and did divide it by 9 and got 48 per hour. And again, it comes back to asking, is that a reasonable rate of pay? It might be, but it probably isn't for delivering catalogs, and questions aren't always reasonable. That is true, but most of the time it is a good trigger to say, hey, did I do a calculation wrong?